Now, the World Bank estimates that capital flows into emerging markets have declined by 30% since talk of U.S. Fed tapering gained momentum in 2013. Now, what strategies have emerging economies, which now account for about half of global GDP, employed to safeguard their currencies against the effects of tapering?
Joining us now for this discussion is Azar Jammine, Chief Economist at Econometrics, Irfan Pardasi, CEO of ACM Gold, and in our Cape Town studio we're joined by Vivian Tebera, Portfolio Manager at Investec Asset Management. Thank you so much for making the time to join us. Irfan, staying on the talk of a collaborative intervention, of course the G20 is happening in Sydney this weekend and will be kick-starting off, I think, on Friday afternoon. And it would be one of those opportunities where the Reserve Bank governors of emerging markets are going to be face-to-face with the decision makers behind the unwinding of quantitative easing. If we were to have some sort of collaborative approach, what do you think the emerging market governors, Reserve Bank governors, should be pushing for at a gathering like that?
Look, what's happened so far is it's been very interesting because Jacob Lew pretty much when asked for quantitative easing and there should be a collaborative approach before the G20, he just turned around and said, listen, I don't want to talk about it at this stage. So it'll be very interesting to see what actually happens in Sydney. But it really comes back to why are we all of a sudden, or why are emerging economies all of a sudden complaining about the US taking the money back? I mean, initially when the money was coming in, we were all excited about it, and it was something that was obvious. It would have happened. People knew the ascended markets would actually start reviving. So I really don't feel that there would be much that would be happening in the G20 meeting. I mean, there would be finger pointing from one side that we should actually have a collaborative approach, but from the other side the finger pointing will come and say, but why didn't you guys do something about it?
What ought to have happened in emerging markets during the time of cheap inflows of money?
Look, the spendings were increasing as if the money was earned. The spendings was increasing as if the exports were increasing, as if we're making more money and we're spending more money. It's just a typical human psychology. When you have extra credit, you start spending more. But that for a human is perfectly fine. But for emerging economies, these 20-odd countries, this is not the best approach to do. To have. So there's lots of macroeconomic factors involved. And now obviously we are reacting. I mean, the way Turkey reacted. I really, in my humble opinion, I agree with Azar that South Africa actually didn't overreact. It was an internal choice, to contain inflation, and it was the right choice. But Turkey, I mean, eventually just came out and just started offering dollar-denominated bonds all of a sudden, which were oversubscribed by 3 times because they ended up offering returns which are unacceptable, which shouldn't be offered. I mean, that's overreaction. South Africa, I feel, it's still alright. Yeah, some people suggest that South Africa hasn't learned the lessons of 1998, but that's another discussion for another day.